Abso-fucking-lutely.
How I understand that you came up with your own podcast, but what made you decide to make it bigger? Is it the businessman in you, or you just
Mhm.
want this is something that you do because you want it to be big in the Philippines? Anong motivation mo why you took PNA where it is right now?
Yeah.
And how like why did you even start a PNA to begin with?
So when PNA started, I was podcasting was just a side hustle. It shouldn't have been a company, to be honest. It's completely accidental and also opportunistic. I'd be lying if I said I didn't see the money. I
Mm-hmm.
saw it, right? So two things. When I started Hustleshare, I was literally just months removed from selling my second company, which is Chatbot PH. I was still running it,
Mm-hmm.
but apparently things change when you get your company acquired. So you're no longer that shot caller, blah blah blah. So it started to feel like those jobs again,
Mm-hmm.
where you can't contain me, you can't tell me shit. I mean, I built this thing, right?
You
So
have to follow
once I
people
start
na.
feeling that, nah. So
Yeah.
that's my natural tendency. I can't be contained. And
Mm.
I'm able to live with my decisions. If it fails, I'll live with it because I don't
Mm-hmm.
want to. But if you're gonna tell me no just for the sake of it, that doesn't make sense to me. So now I had to find something that filled my heart that I'm passionate about, which is paying it forward. Again, building bridges that can build. But how do I do that at scale without also compromising what I was doing? So podcasts, right? I'll be lying also if I said that never wanted to be on radio. I've always wanted to be on radio. That was a dream that I never gave a fair shot of. Unfortunately, radios didn't want me. So I said, okay, I'll just try this podcasting.
At
And,
least sarili kong show, no? You call the
and I
shots and
get to cash. And
everything.
I get to cash. That's the only most important thing. I don't
Yes,
want
yes.
the KBB to tell me that, I can't cast. F that. I'm not. I will cast. Okay?
True,
There.
true. Yeah.
So after that, then I saw three things that I observed, right? After I launched Hustle Share. I did this February 2019. I still remember. First one, I looked at the top 200 podcasts in Spotify. Why Spotify? Because I saw that, okay, most people listen on Spotify in the Philippines, right?
Yes.
Only a select few do it on Apple Podcasts. So
And
if it's
also
Spotify, that means that
because of the gadget also maraming Android versus, Apple
correct, correct.
users.
And naturally Filipinos love their music and they use Spotify already.
Yeah,
So
true
there's
though.
the
Yeah.
switching cost is just less, right?
Mm.
So all the audio is just there. So I looked at it. It's like, okay, out of the top 200 podcasts in Spotify, only 20% was Filipino made.
I
Like, what?
agree.
There's so
Mm.
many podcasts here, but these are all Western things. So it's very reminiscent of how Filipinos also consume content in Netflix. It's always foreign stuff that we consume. We can change that, but I felt like there was a room for more Filipino content creators to create localized, more nuanced content, right? So second thing is if there were the 20%, the standard of how it was done varied like night and day. Some people sounded like, studio quality. Some people
Mm.
sounded like they're in a trash can, So it's
Tunog
like, how?
lata.
Yeah, like,
Yes.
what the hell did you guys use? I love your content, but I can't understand. I can't stand 2 minutes of this, right? I'm
True.
done, right? So there needs to be standardization for it to be given a fair shot to grow.
Like the adobo, there should be a standardized adobo.
Yeah, but here you need standardization, okay? Because nobody's gonna eat that adobo if it sounds like lata, right? Right?
Yes.
And third is um, data, right? Since I was in startups, I knew how important data was. So I said, in order for you to really be able to grow this and also monetize it,
Mhm.
you need to understand your audience's data. And number four, monetization. I said,
Mm.
okay, I can be the greedy fuck that you want me to be myself, but something has to incentivize me to keep going. If at the back of my mind, this is just going to be continuously be a project, passion project, eventually I know myself having shiny object syndrome, right? I will hit a wall.
Mhm.
And if I'm not paying the bills with something that I'm doing, the first thing when I hit that wall, the first thing I'll probably throw out the window is that something that doesn't pay the bills when things get tough. Luckily in Hustleshare, I was able to find a sponsor that was willing to sponsor my content. It wasn't much, $800, but oh my god, $800 in 10 episodes. That's quite sizable. That's good enough for me, right? To
Yeah.
keep doing this, right? And said, how come people can't do this? So I started asking around and listening. Like, for all the podcasts, they don't have ads. Never had ads. Never had ads. Why? And then I started looking. Hey, what if I can help sell your show? I started looking around. Asked Eavesdrop. I asked all these guys, and then PNA was born.
Wow.
So that's it. 5 shows. That was the first five that we got. Halo Halo Show, Eavesdrop, Wrestling, Pool Pals.
Cool
And
pals,
they
yes.
all thought I was a scam,
Of
which
course they
I
will.
won't blame them, right? I won't.
I'm sorry for
But
the experience, but
we
I
were,
understand
and
you.
still now, people would probably think now that what's this Padmetrics? That's a scam, right? Right. And I respect it. I know that was our flaw. But the intentions were pure from the get go. And
Mm-hmm.
then I started researching now. Like, what is the future of this podcast network? And then I saw Gimlet, I saw The Ringer got acquired. And
Mm-hmm.
this was right into my wheelhouse where acquisitions. I just literally sold the company months before. Like, okay, so I can apply all of the startup methodology. Probably 90% applies here. And then we joined the final pitch. We got resources to be able to uh, scale this, and then the rest is history. Now we're at 100. I don't even know the right number.
150,
169?
100,
No,
oh,
the real
169.
number now is 169 in two
Wow.
countries, Indo and Philippines.
Amazing. But
Yeah.
Ron, didn't you even have doubts na parang, paano ko ibebenta to? Because in the Philippines, television, radio is still a big thing, and also
Hmm.
social media. And
Hmm.
sometimes even selling on social media using the ads and all,
Hmm.
it will take a lot of time to actually
Hmm.
get the numbers right. Because
Yeah.
it's you have to fight for it, you have to be competitive with it, and you have to
Mhm.
burn a bit of cash with
Correct.
it. So paano mo what were you thinking?
Yeah.
Na
No.
parang paano
So.
ka, because now in the Philippines
Mhm.
hindi pa masyadong aware ang tao sa podcast. A little bit
Yes.
pa. Medyo ngayon
Hmm.
nag-improve na, but before, I think siguro a year ago, 2 years ago, they will be like, especially the
Hmm.
older type of business model, na sabihin
Hmm.
nila, what podcast? Ano yun? Ano
Exactly.
yun? Radyo ba yan? Ganun yung usual.
Exactly.
That's the
Exactly.
usual question, diba? So
Hmm.
what's in your mind before
Hmm.
you.
So luckily, I had already a similar experience years prior, which
Hmm.
is I was selling chatbots,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
So it's the
Mhm.
same thing. 9 times out of 10, when you talk to someone, what is a chat box? I'm not selling a chat box. Okay? I'm selling a chatbot. So I'm already used to selling something that's never been done before, something ahead of its time. And then you just accelerate that by planting enough seeds. Plant. And eventually you'll hit an inflection point when it becomes suddenly mainstream and you look like a prophet all of a sudden that, oh, okay. But yeah, I was just selling something that already existed overseas and now I'm just localizing the content, right? It's something that I don't need to prove that works. I just need to be that guy that paved the way for others, which I don't mind. I've done it before, right? And luckily I was able to win in that regard. And in P&A, it's the same thing. Selling the future of
Mhm.
what big, and then you just look for. There's a specific type of audience you look for that you get. So one of the biggest mistakes that I see a lot of people is they try to go for the big guns right away, the big whales. The big whales typically are laggards. They don't like new things. So
True.
you try to sell it to those people who are enamored with getting to be the first. And then make that snowball effect. And eventually, when hype comes in, boom, Globe comes in. Boom, Smart comes in. then you get the big bucks. It takes
Mm.
time, but you just gotta keep planting.
Mm.
Yeah, and don't pitch the big guys first because most likely you'll be shut down. Go for those types of fishes that like to be first.
Mm.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yung mga gusto na parang, okay, I want the newest thing
correct. They
and I
also
don't
have
mind.
shiny object syndrome. You're exact same, but on the other side.
Amazing.
So the success metric now, there's multiple, but what keeps me going really is it's simple. On a non-personal thing, I want to make sure that I get to put food on the table to as many podcasters as possible.
Oh,
The
Tatay
number,
Ron.
Tito,
Tito Ron.
Sugar Daddy Ron. That's no. No, there's a number in my mind, and I've had this. It's just an abstract number. I didn't have any business. But
Mhm.
if I said if I can monetize 1,000 podcasts, I'll be happy.
Wow.
Um, we're around one third of that so
Mhm.
far, but I want to be able to provide more, right? Because I want this to stop becoming just a community, but a real industry. But in order for it to be a real industry, there needs to be decent money here. That's why I get hurt. It's a little personal to me when people say there's no money in podcasting. Like,
Mhm.
no, there is. You just don't see. You just don't
Yeah.
see it, right? Just because
Mhm.
it's not there yet doesn't mean there's nothing. Because I
Mhm.
see the podcast in the states, they make shit hundred thousands of dollars per episode.
They do,
Like,
yeah.
why? How
As
can that
in,
happen
sobrang
here?
laki. As
Right?
in. Like sometimes they even get I see pa nga in communities they would ask how much do you charge if someone wants to be on your show?
Exactly. Now
Because
that's
right.
happening here now too, but it's not. It's nothing compared to what it can possibly be. Right?
Mhm. So we are looking at a bright future for the podcast industry. Pero yung